let's talk about something that I don't like thinking about at times, but why not talk about it on the internet with all of you guys? My therapist once told me that I'm the type of person who processes things verbally, like I need to say things out loud in order to understand them better and to help organize my thoughts in my brain. Why not? Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Today, I want to talk to you guys about not being where you thought you'd be in your life by a certain age. In my case, that's 30 and then 31 and now almost 32. I'm not gonna lie, I have had certain expectations of what my life would look like by the time I was 30, and it's been 2 years since that. So here are some things that I thought I definitely have by the time I was 30. Kids, number one. Number two, passive income. I've always wanted to just create a little side gig that was working for me. I don't know how realistic that is. Like, did I fall for some internet scam thinking that that's possible? Maybe. Number three, I thought I would have a business of my own that I built from scratch. So, do I worry about not having those things? Yeah, occasionally I do. I'd lie if I say I didn't think about it, but I also just now started to understand who I really am at my core and what it is that I truly want from my life. And honestly, I'm probably still gonna change a few more times. Like, the things I want out of my life are probably still gonna change in my hopefully a long life. Up until very recently, I used to think that I wanted this corporate career life. I genuinely valued that more than wanting to have a family, to have kids. I actually never thought about the latter. I always dreamt of having this corporate career life. And then I actually achieved it. Yay me. In my early 20s, I started a job and I started to grow. So by the time I was in my mid 20s, I actually experienced that corporate life and I found myself quite unhappy. And let me tell you something, when you decide that you want something because you see somebody else having it and you think you want it because the other person shows you the glamorous, the beautiful side of things, all lies. It's all lies because the behind the door, the kitchen is so much chaos. It's so much hard work. It's so much stress that almost no one used to show on the internet when I was in my 20s. I would look at these successful girlies and I would think, this is the life that I want. I want to dress like them. I want to look like them. I want to be rich like them. And of course, they only show you the pretty side of their life. And so then you go and you spend years pursuing that lifestyle only to find that you are miserable, you are exhausted, you are under so much pressure and so much stress. And then you realize, oh, okay, so this is a package. It all comes together. I don't want it. My idea of who I thought I should be shattered so quickly, and I realized that pursuing a career is not even close to what my heart actually desired. I'd say that I truly started to understand myself, my true nature, when I turned 27, 28. Because at that point I was still working, I was still in my career, and I was so unhappy. And I started going to therapy, and my 3 therapists that I've had in my lifetime, I'm actually still in therapy, I'm still working with one of them, but all 3 of them contributed to me really starting to understand myself a lot better and starting to organize my thoughts, my dreams, my goals, my desires. And I recommend that to anyone who feels lost in their life. Working with a therapist, in my opinion, is kind of a shortcut because they help you untangle your life trauma much quicker than you would do it on your own. So as a result of all of that work, I realized that what I really genuinely wanted was a family. I wanted to be married. Well, I was married at the time, but it was just not a priority. And I wanted to make my marriage my priority, and I wanted to start a family. I don't think that this process can or should be rushed. You have to go through life, you have to experience things to come to these understandings. And so for me, it was, I guess you could say, a little bit later in life, because I came to like my true self really only like later last year. So when I turned 31. So I guess it happened to me later in life, but that's just my journey. It took me a little longer to realize what I wanted. Maybe there are people out there who are 25, already know exactly what they want, already working towards their goals, and maybe already achieved some of their goals. I have never met anyone like that, but I don't deny that it's a possibility that they're out there. Couldn't be me though. It's definitely not my story. So what I ended up doing was I quit my job a couple months after I turned 30. Thankfully, I have a wonderful husband who loves me and supports me financially and supports me in any other way. So he said, hey, if you want to try something else, you're still young, go for it. So I quit my job and I have been a stay-at-home wifey for a little over a year now. You may ask, well, aren't you bored? Are you happier? I could tell you I'm not happy, but I am happier than I used to be. And I am much calmer. I am much more together. And homemaking, I am in my element when I'm at home. There is truly nothing better for me. I'm just talking about myself. There is nothing better than greeting my husband from work, and he's worked all day and he is tired and he is exhausted and he is stressed, and he comes home to a fresh home cooked meal and he thanks me for it. And there is nothing better for me. I get so much joy from caring for him, from hosting, from making my home cozy. That's just pure joy for me. And I think real unhappiness is when you pursue things like I used to because somebody else expects that out of your life or wants that for your life. Or even worse, when somebody wants that for their life, but you're watching their life and you're thinking, oh, I like this girl, I want the exact same life as she has. And then you go down that path, and a few years later, you find that you are actually not happy at all. I think that's so sad. In my case, personally, what contributed to me wanting to be a career girly, a corporate girly, is because my mom was a single mom who was very career driven all her life. And watching her kind of primed me to that mindset. She always used to say that you can't rely on men, you gotta do it all yourself, you've gotta have your own money. And I agree with her to an extent, but I literally adopted her mentality and thought that it was my ideology, but it wasn't. It's hers. This was her life experience. This was her mindset, does not have to be mine. And that noise from the outside world tends to be so loud that a lot of the times you and I can't even hear our own thoughts. What do we actually want? And just to be clear, this could be the other way around for you. Like, you could have been raised being told that all you should ever want from this life is a family and motherhood or fatherhood, and what you actually want is a career. That's fine. It could be the other way around for anyone else. I'm just sharing my personal experience. So that's that on turning 30 and not being where you thought you'd be. But also, I'd like to share with you the flip side of me pursuing what I actually want out of this life. So when I quit my job, it was wonderful, it was great, blah, blah, blah. The flip side of that is I do feel extremely lonely. I also feel like dead weight on this planet. Like, I'm bringing no value to the society, to humanity. I'm not personally growing, and it sucks to feel this way. And this is something I could not have possibly known I would feel until I experienced it, like until I pursued, being at home. Only then I realized that, oh, this is also a package. being at home and not working as hard and resting and relaxing and taking care of your family is great, but also like you are gonna feel like shit sometimes. So the point I'm trying to make, I guess, is that you just have to live this life, experience this life, try things, fail at them. That's okay, because only then, once you experience something, you can alter your mentality. You can't do it beforehand. And I think a lot of the people who find that they feel behind in life are the people who are really afraid to make mistakes, really afraid to take risks and fail. And those are the people who never end up trying anything. But I think the more you try and then probably fail, and then you'll have to try again, the more you go through those motions, the quicker you'll come to understanding yourself and understanding what it is that you want from your life. Okay, so now let's pivot. I kind of want to talk about why it may be a good thing that you feel lost in your 30s. I asked my mom if she ever felt this way when she was either turning 30 or just in her 30s. And my mom was, like I said earlier, a single mom. She had to work so hard just to feed my sister and I. There were times when we were little when we literally had no food. So my mom was in actual survival mode. She was just trying to survive. She didn't have the time to think, oh, am I happy? Am I living the life I want? She literally never thought about it because she was too busy trying to figure out what we were gonna eat tomorrow. And so we grew up in the 90s, in the post-Soviet Union era, and here we are in 2024, and we are living in the West where there's so much abundance of everything. There's abundance of food, abundance of comfort, abundance of money in the society, abundance of knowledge and information and access. We can't really say that we are surviving the way we were in the 90s. We are just living. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why there is no big incentive for us to push, because even if my life doesn't improve and stays the same for the rest of my life, that's not such a bad place to be. I have a home, I have a car, I have phone and TV, I have entertainment, I have the internet, information, I have everything I could ever want inside my house. Yes, we may not be happy, but we're also not starving. And so my personal lesson in all of this is that I need pain. I need to be uncomfortable to be motivated. And I think this applies to most people. I think that's why you look at your life and you think, I haven't achieved anything in this life. And that could possibly be because you've been pretty comfortable. There was no reason for you to achieve anything. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm sorry, my husband is watching soccer downstairs. I'm sorry if it's loud. I guess what I'm trying to say is friction is necessary if you want success in your life. Whatever success means to you, you have to be in enough pain to want to get out of it and pursue bigger and better things. And maybe the pain of each year of your life passing you by and you not growing, maybe that pain will eventually become strong enough that pushes you to actually go and do something. I just realized that sounded a little bit mean. I didn't mean it like that at all. This is all note to self, guys. Like, nobody watches my videos, so it's fine. I'm just talking to myself. Please don't take no offense to what I'm saying. So these are a few of my thoughts, being almost 32 this year. These are a few of my thoughts of not being where you thought you'd be by this era of your life. I don't think I could have possessed any of this information without having lived through my 20s and having experienced some different things in life. So don't rush things. Don't rush your life. The right things will happen for you at the right time. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.